ever been to a great party and somehow you found yourself in the kitchen having an amazing conversation? Happens to me all the time. What if we could capture those moments or have more of them? So I called a couple of my friends to help me cook up some conversations in the kitchen. Welcome to Kitchen Talk. Hey guys, welcome back to Kitchen Talk CTC.
Conversations that cook.
I beat them this time.
But I already knew it though.
But yeah. So you got some catching up to do. I'm just saying, you got some catching up to do.
We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there.
Welcome back.
Back to be good.
I know, isn't it great?
Oh.
Don't you love these conversations?
Yeah.
I really love these conversations.
Mm-hmm. No, we gonna see.
We got a little cake.
I don't think you gonna like
We
it.
got a little cake. We got a little juice.
That's right.
But I got a feeling that y'all gonna need that. Because it's gonna be a hot conversation today.
This is hot.
Hot.
Let's get it.
Like hot.
Hot.
So here we are.
Like hooking in church hot.
That's hot. Yeah. It's gonna be hot. And I'm gonna try my best to kind of stay out of my feelings, but I'm feeling some kind of way. So put a little bit on social media and whatnot.
Right.
And so I'm scrolling through, and this tweet pops up from JT Plumber, the real JT Plumber.
Who was that?
The real JT Plumber.
Okay.
And the tweet says, "It is a man's job to respect a woman." And I was like, oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that, right?
There's nothing wrong.
Then it said,
No.
but it is a woman's job to give him something to respect.
I didn't say respect.
Wow.
I spelled it correctly.
Respect.
Respect on my name. That's why it's the real JT.
So, Mr. JT, can you explain what that means?
I mean, it's self-explanatory.
It is not, because I had no understanding.
I mean,
So break it down for me.
I mean, like I said, you have to. It's a woman's job to give a man something to respect. I don't see a man. I can't really see a man respecting a woman that's just out in the streets, loose or just out being wild or whatnot. So I just that's how I feel. I mean, that's how I felt that day, at that moment, at that time.
So when did it become a woman's job to make sure you have something to respect? Can't you just respect her as a human being?
I mean, I respect all women.
Evidently not.
I do.
If I got to if it's my job
As a human
to give
being,
you
yes.
something to respect. That's what you said.
As a human
It is
being,
my
yes.
job to give you something to respect. I'm trying to understand.
Come on, man. Why you want to do this today, Lisa?
This is a great day to do it.
And you not trying to help. You're supposed to be my brother. You supposed to be
You know what? On both ends, I understand where you were going with it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I understand what you're
okay, so let's just do the one side. So explain to me how you understand where he was
So I'm playing a
going with
little
it.
bit of a devil's advocate.
Okay.
Okay, so on one hand, I get you. You know, you want that person to respect themselves so that you can respect them. But on the other hand,
That ain't what he said, but go ahead.
But that's what he was portraying. And I know how you feel as far as you want to be respected regardless. It's not my job. It's not the person's job to put themselves in a position so that they can be respected. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, what I'm trying to figure out is, why is it my responsibility to make sure that you respect me?
Yeah, I think that's the part where it's a little bit.
Because you didn't say it's, everybody's responsibility to make sure we give everybody something to respect. You said it is a woman's job to make sure she gives you something to respect.
Did I say woman's job? Did I really say that?
Oh, yeah.
Now you sound like Donald Trump.
Oh, man.
One minute I'm tweeting this, the next minute I'm
This is fake news. That's what this is. Fake news.
And I guess because to me it just feeds so much into that double standard.
Right.
Like, okay, so what? I'm on the street. Well, you must be on the street if you see me.
Now, I was riding down the street and I happened to see you sitting there on the corner. Not you per se, but.
So what you sitting on the corner? Really, JT?
I'm just joking, man.
That was not jokes
That
on
was
Twitter.
jokes.
That was not jokes on Twitter. That is an attitude.
Okay.
That is how you feel
It was
about women.
I don't
think that's how he feels about
Okay.
it. I think that was just a moment where he was expressing how he felt in regards to respect. Now that may have changed, and that can change over time, and you know, there's a little bit of a slip of the tongue, you know, just a little slip of the text, but I get where he was coming from.
Well, tell me where he was coming from, because I don't get it.
I think the issue deviates when it comes to it's a woman's job, and I think that's what you're pretty much fighting against. It's not really her job to do this,
right?
She, and in your point, she is supposed to do this regardless, as men should do too.
Right.
I should hold myself up to the point where when I meet somebody, they respect who I am, and vice versa.
But okay, so if we all start with this level playing field of respect, I understand that there are things that people do that you might not agree with.
That's correct.
But you, to me, in my mind, you should still respect them as a person.
Yeah.
I think that you value who you are first. That's where it starts, where JT was going with. You start with you. If you respect who you are, then others will respect you. But then I think that the value starts to lose when you start to lose yourself. So that to me is where you deviated. Where again, I want women to do certain things so that they can be respected. That's what threw me off.
Right.
More than anything, I think men and women, we do things that bring us to a lower level of respect because we're not doing what we're supposed to do.
Okay, I get that.
So then we lose value.
Right.
Not only with ourselves, but society as a whole.
Right. And yeah, and so I get that. And I guess I'm just like the whole it's my job. Like it's my responsibility. That's the part that gets me.
Let's switch
okay.
it. Let's say it's everybody's responsibility.
Okay.
Then the bite is less.
It is less.
Yes.
If you say all of us.
All of us.
It's all of us. I'm good with that.
Just a woman's job.
Right.
You know.
Because that gets into, well, she should have known better, or she shouldn't dress like that, or she shouldn't have did this, or she shouldn't have did that.
But I think it goes back to the other way too. He should have known better. He should not have done this. The thing is that we don't do the he all the time.
We never do the he.
We do the she.
We never do the he.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
We never do the he.
Because you've done the he a few times.
Good he. We did the he.
Yes.
We never do the he.
I think we hear less of the he.
Hold on. If y'all say Bill Cosby, did I not individualize that? I didn't put everybody in a group. You put all women in a group and said it is the woman's job.
Yeah, you tried. I just really wish she'd get off the subject right now, but we gotta go ahead.
But it's actually a really good subject because men's, I guess, goes into a lot of different areas, especially in our climate where women are seen a certain way and men are seen a certain way.
Right.
I think it's
and
always
this
going to be
double
there.
standard kind of thing is still lives. I mean, by now we should be. I mean, women are doing.
I think we've made progress.
We are all doing the same. We are, except for when it comes to this. I want to say part of it is the sexuality part.
Okay.
So if you see a woman with showing her knee or a little higher or got a little cleavage,
right,
you know, you feel some kind of way about her.
I don't.
I'm not saying you in general. I'm saying men.
Okay. Because you showing cleavage right now. But
I'm saying men in general. And you feeling some kind of way about her?
You know.
It's funny that you said that because I was just looking at how the issue of feeding your child is an issue. I'm like, how is that an issue?
Because women become responsible for the lust of men. We should be covered up. Why is that my responsibility, though? What I'm saying. Why can't you be responsible for your own lust instead of saying, "Oh, well, she need to be covered up"? No, check yourself.
So is that the same thing like going to church when the church mama come and say, "Oh,
And put that
little
lap scar? Oh, when I tell you,
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
What?
No.
Yes.
really?
Nah,
You must sit in the back of the church.
Yeah, I do.
You sit in the back of the church. That's why.
So women, if you sit in the front of the church, they say that you gotta cover up your knees.
Oh,
you're wearing like
so to keep the crooked preacher from looking.
That's correct.
Oh, I got it now.
Right.
It was the same. Like why?
Right? Why is it her
The
responsibility?
preacher should keep his
Yeah.
own
Then
mind.
you should keep yourself in check.
You're right.
But you know what I'm saying? Because the man mind is weak.
We can agree.
Somebody admitted it.
We
I still don't want to be responsible
But
for
I
your
do
weak
think
mind.
too, women got a weak mind too, so you gotta look at it both ways. Women do
True.
have a weaker mind. You just have a better way of masking it.
I agree. I agree that everybody finds people attractive in whatever way.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't make you responsible for mine.
Right.
I don't say, "Oh, he need to put his shirt on, or he need to cover up, or whatever."
Right.
So why do men do it to women?
I don't know. I think again we've made progress
Yeah.
because you go back a few years, that's not how it was.
I don't know. And the reason why I say I don't know if we made progress, if we start looking at, let's think about this last Supreme Court justice.
Oh yes.
That's why I say I don't think we made progress, because
No.
they wouldn't believe her, or
No, I think we made progress because going back to what's his name, Clarence Thomas.
Yeah.
When that case came up,
and he was
the young
still
lady didn't even get a
confirmed.
chance. But she didn't even get a chance.
Okay.
Like
I'll
at
give
least
you
this
that.
time, you know.
Oh, she got to tell her story.
We want to hear your story, and we actually
And then say we
believe it.
still don't believe you.
No, they
And
do
he
believe
get
her.
and he get confirmed.
I don't think Kavanaugh is going to get confirmed.
You don't think so?
No. All the backlash that he's getting thus far, because of what we said, there has been some progression. And the woman's voice is actually heard more now. That's just coming from.
I agree with that.
I think it has to be heard.
And again,
Well, it always had to be heard. It just wasn't.
I think it was, but to a certain level. The women's right movement has progressed a lot, but at this point in time, I think her voice has been heard, so that his appointment may not happen.
It would be interesting if it doesn't. I would be surprised.
But at the end of the day, she's been heard.
She has been heard.
Versus in the past. Now that Clarence Thomas case was huge, but it was not the same.
Know your place, woman, and sit over there and be quiet. I mean, that's not what I'm saying right now, but that's basically how they treated her.
You know what?
Yeah, I know. I was like, hold up, let me clarify what I'm saying right now.
You got a whole bunch of old-fashioned views, because I remember one time it was barefoot and pregnant. I remember that.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
You got a lot. You always
You knew that was a
joking.
joke.
You got a whole bunch of jokes. You got a whole bunch of jokes.
Without laughter.
Exactly.
You know?
Okay,
It's
yeah.
the best medicine, right?
It is good medicine.
Yeah,
It
if your
is.
face is not telling me right now. That's it.
Yeah, it is good. I'm gonna have to check on you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Double standards. Come on, for real. Double standards.
Come on now.
So I'm gonna check on something, but when I come back, we gonna get into a little more of this double standard
Already
thing.
hot. You trying to get a hot?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's gonna be a scorcher today.
Probably shouldn't have wore this suit.
I came ready
Wow.
for this scorcher.
Wow.
All right. I know y'all gonna talk amongst yourselves, but that's all right. I'm ready for you.
Next time, don't tweet it.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it,
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got, or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
This is no ordinary table. It's a mailroom, a community board, and a bank. For 30 years, this table was an anchor. These days, though, it's a very different story. Even when you prepare, life doesn't always go as planned. Today, 1 in 7 seniors live in poverty. To learn how you can help, visit aarpfoundation.org.
Since the moment you were born, I've made 1,000 wishes. Wishes for your future. In a world that's changing fast. Because no matter what you do in this life, what matters to me is that you keep doing.
So, double standards. We're back on Kitchen Talk CTC. Conversations that cook, and we cooking up one for real today. So it seems, I'm actually glad he did, because we get to talk about this and we get to figure out what's going on in your mind.
I mean, I'm not a guy for double standards though.
But you know, you can't put it all on JT. It's like JT's tweet is for all men. So I'm gonna help you out with that one.
Yeah, man.
But I feel where you're coming from. That a lot of men.
A lot of men. A lot of men. So here is what in my household. So the girls were taught, keep yourself together. You know, be respectable. Don't show too much. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do the other. The boys were taught. My brother.
The boys.
Get all. I know. Kind of slipped out that way. Get all you can while you can.
Right.
So, to me, that already presents this conflict.
Right.
Because you have girls trying to keep themselves together,
right,
and you have boys trying to get all they can while they can, and we just bumping heads like this. Because he trying to get it and she trying to keep it.
Oh, got you.
And so I think just even from that, it's deeper than just that. So we already just kind of pitted against each other.
Right.
And it just grows.
So the double standard is there from the beginning.
From the beginning.
I can't even deny them.
From the beginning. So we already know JT daddy told him it was all right to date more than one.
Oh, that was a good show. That was a good show.
It was, man.
And you tried it.
That was a good show.
And you tried it. And what did you find out?
It wasn't that good. It was something that I probably shouldn't have done at all. I mean, hey.
But you know what? You live and you learn.
You live and you learn. And I was young, I was dumb, and all that type of stuff.
And so you guys mentor young men now.
Right.
What do you say?
Actually, I mentor young men and young women.
Okay.
And for me, it's more or less be true to who you are. 1. Number 2, be honest. No matter how you decide, whether you decide, you know what, I'm going to open up and talk to whoever I want to talk to, or vice versa. I think it's important as both men and women that we're honest with how we feel and our intentions. The problem that I felt going back to the conflict, you have women who've been told, don't say nothing, hold back, don't share, you know, kind of keep it closed, as you just said, keep everything closed. Whereas a guy's free to roam, free to do what he wants to do, as Coming to America, free to sow
your royal oats.
But I think women should also have that freedom to roam, freedom to talk, freedom to experience life. But you have to do
and
it
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with
honestly.
that.
And the part
but y'all don't look at her the same way.
We do if she's confident in who she is. We don't if you are in one way and out, like you got one foot in and one foot out. You gotta be all in.
So are you saying that if a woman and a man are doing the exact same thing,
right,
then you good with it?
Again,
and she won't be looked at differently,
regardless of which way they go. If a guy decides, you know what, I'm just gonna keep it closed, girl decides to keep it closed, we all on the same playing field at that point. And vice versa. I'm gonna spread my wings, you're gonna spread your wings, we're on the same playing field. The problem that we're discussing today is we're not on the same playing field. You have one standard, I have one standard, and now there's a clash. And that clash may stop us from taking it to the next level.
I don't know if if we all feel the same way. So is that what you're saying? We don't feel the same way?
No, yeah.
Because I'm thinking that even in corporate and business or whatever,
Right.
if a woman is friendly,
Right.
flirtatious, whatever, just a good all-around person, she done slept her way through. If a man, that's just charisma. Come on.
Well, again, that's the old way of thinking.
It's still today though.
But we can
And we
change that.
feed it.
We have been changing it.
We feed the double standard
Right.
with tweets like it's a
So,
woman's
here's my-
responsibility to make sure to give a man
off
something
my
to
Twitter.
respect. I'm gonna say
Here's the thing. How do we change that?
well, you tell me,
And
because I really think it's up to men and their thought processes to change it.
But then
Because
you're feeding into the standard. Now you're telling me it's all my responsibility.
it is your responsibility to
Well,
change
it's
your way
also
of
yours.
thinking.
It's also yours.
How is it my responsibility
Because-
if I'm being me and if I'm doing what I'm doing?
No, you're doing what you say you don't want to do.
What do you mean?
Which is how you were raised. You're saying that, okay, this is how women were raised, right? You can't do this, don't do that, don't talk this way, cover up, do this. Now you go into the world and say, I want to do this. But because of the way a man thinks, I may not do it or I may do it. So he has to control how he thinks. So now you're stopping yourself from doing what is it you want to do because you are maybe afraid of what the guy may say or what society may say.
Okay, I see that.
So you can't put it on a guy.
I have to put it on the guy.
We got to put it on ourselves.
No,
first.
you have to put it on the man's mentality to change, and then everybody can be free.
There is
and that's
nothing
what I'm
wrong.
saying.
There is nothing wrong.
All of us have to change.
We all have to change.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with us pulling ourselves back and saying, you know what? Maybe I was wrong.
There you go.
Maybe I was
Were
wrong.
you wrong, JT?
For one, clearly I was wrong for tweeting that. I mean, clearly I was wrong for tweeting that because I did not know it was going to get this hot up in here.
I made a mistake. I said you should email it.
Because
Put it on paper. Or put it in the word.
they will find
They
it.
will find it.
I am not running for any office. Because I can see my commercial now. This is the way that JT Plummer thinks about women. And they should, nah, man, I'm not.
Paid for by JT Plummer.
Nah, paid for by somebody, but not me.
It's just really, 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 really crazy that you still felt that way in 2018. That's what really kind of got me.
No, I think he was going in the right direction. It was just a little slip.
Maybe I worded it wrong. I don't
I
know.
think it was just a worded it wrong.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. Again, if it was later in our country's history, he wouldn't even have put the first part of it. Most men at, let's say, give me a year, 60s. Let's go with the 60s or the 50s. They would not have stated what he stated in the beginning.
They wouldn't have to.
Exactly.
And why not?
Because I don't think that.
Because women were in their place, and now we step
See,
in.
I'm not gonna say. You're saying that.
I'm asking a
You're saying
question.
that.
So
But
then it goes back to what I said earlier. We're making progress. Change is not going to come overnight.
Okay.
But we're making progress over time. I saw Wonder Woman. And I loved the movie. I thought
like
It was a very good movie.
Probably the best movie that they've put out thus far.
I liked it. I
And
thought
it
was good.
showed the progression of how women should feel, regardless of how a man thinks how she should be. So it's a good example of what we're talking about. Wonder Woman didn't care what these other guys
Yeah,
are
she
thinking
didn't.
and how their viewpoints was because that's not how she was raised. So when she was brought into that world, she was like, nah, I don't care how you think. I'm going to wear what I wear. I'm not going to cover up. I'm going to do what I want to
And
do.
what was crazy is all the women on that island or whatever that was where they were,
Right.
they thought the same exact way.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That was the environment they were in. So when it translates and you get this double standard, you know how you deal with it.
How do you deal with it? Exactly. So that goes back to what I was saying. It's
It does.
how do women deal with it? How do men deal with it? So we can't be all on, oh, it's the man who got to change. Because if the man don't change, nothing gonna change. Then you're right. Nothing changes. This is why we don't have the progress that we
But
should have.
okay, I give you that. So if we
start charging y'all for these
whatever
sessions.
I think what happens is you get to a point where you just get sick of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's where I was when I read it.
Right.
Was like, really, JT?
Right.
It's my job now?
Right.
You know, we have so many other responsibilities.
I agree.
Why is it my job to worry about, you know, if my shirt or if my skirt or if this or if that, if my arm out,
Right.
you know, whatever. Why is it my responsibility
Right.
to make sure you don't lust?
Right.
Dang.
But at the end of the day, it's still not
It's
his responsibility.
It's his responsibility to control
My love.
himself.
But it's not your responsibility to think about how he's
supposed to be thinking.
And I don't
Right.
until somebody say it's my job.
Now that's what we're going to. Don't
You all right?
I love it.
Need a fan?
Shoot, I feel like old boy after that debate the other night when Gillis was saying him up.
Oh yes.
Yeah, man.
So we just, I mean, it is something that I agree that there is progress.
Okay.
Okay, I agree with that.
Thank you.
I also agree that it is everybody's responsibility.
That's right.
I agree with that too.
Right.
But what I also need for men to say, it is their responsibility as well. And I don't think men do that. It's more of, you know, I got to make sure I'm together. I got to make sure, you know, I'm wholesome. I got to make sure, you know, I'm not saying vulgar language or whatever.
Right.
But a man can do it all day long.
Well, I know me as a person. I can honestly say I have grown a lot over the years, and I'm one of those type of people. It's easier for me now to say, you know what, I'm wrong. It's easier for me now to say, you know what, maybe I need to step back and look at this from a different perspective.
Right.
And then maybe that'll change my mind about certain things. So,
which is really good, because all of us have people that look up to us, whether they ever say anything to us or not.
Right.
And so I guess if we're going to make sure we affect this next generation in a more positive way, then all of that has to, you know, kind of start and change with us.
Right.
So if we're teaching our little girls to keep themselves, because nobody says abstinence anymore, nobody says virginity.
Oh yeah, they do.
But if we're telling the girls, then we need to be telling the boys.
We do. I just taught a couple of classes where I taught just that. You know, it's either abstinence or you're protecting yourself. And it's important for them to know how to address those things. But it's on the same playing field. I'm not telling the girls one thing and then telling the guys another thing.
And see, that's it right there. Is that if this generation has to be the ones to squash that double standard. Yeah. And I think it's moving forward, especially when we see women in politics, when we see women in business, when we see women in the classroom, when we see women in the boardroom. Those glass ceilings are being broken and whatnot. But sometimes when it comes to that male-female role,
right,
it's still like it's just so hard. If we both in the club, why are you tripping?
Right.
Because we both in the club.
Right. We should be having a good time together.
Yeah.
Right.
You shouldn't be, you know, I shouldn't be,
I want you to be there.
Because I don't want to be in there with you. I don't want to be at Yorkshire Farms with a bunch of dudes.
I'm there for you.
So that's my whole thing, is that we have to be the ones to say, regardless of what she got on,
right,
if we ain't gonna step to her and be like, look sis, maybe that's a little bit too much, or explain to me about that outfit,
right,
then don't disrespect her and say, oh, she must be wanted.
Right.
It might just be she liked the outfit.
Nothing wrong with that.
And she got a little extra going on in it or something. I don't know.
No, but again, you should be able to express yourself just like a guy is
able to express himself. And that's my whole point.
Let me say this, it comes with a responsibility. As JT was saying, yeah, I can say what I want to say and you're getting it now. You can text what you want to text, but it comes with a responsibility.
And you know you got to be ready for the backlash.
Oh, yeah, man. You know I see. Today I have officially been checked by the shortest woman on earth.
But you know what? It's not checkmate.
You know what? You know what? Okay. We got next week. I love you.
I love you too.
But next week we're gonna have to come back. Next week, y'all coming back?
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, Kitchen Talk CTC.